Hey, good evening. It's Coach Jill, and welcome to Monday night's group transformation coaching call. We're glad to have you. I am enabling the chat, so let me know if you're watching and where you're watching from. Excited to have you here, and here comes Coach Penny. She's joining us. We'll get started here. So glad to have all of you with us. Let's see who's watching with us. Let's see. Yeah, chime in if you're watching. Hi, Liliana. Glad to have you with us. And as we start this week's call off, for those who started at the beginning of April, we are going into level 3, week 2. So this week is going to be starting your protein hyperdosing week. And if you are not in that week and you have questions, please feel free to post them in the chat. Hey, Helena, glad to have you with us. She's tuning in from Knoxville, Tennessee. Excited because she's going to be here in just a couple of weeks, and we'll get started with that. So if you are starting protein hyperdosing week this week, we're going to talk about that here. I want to know your successes from last week, so let me know what's going on. How did last week go? What are your results? Excuse me, sorry. What are your results from last week? You know what? It's a little bright. I'm just going to tone that down a little bit. There we go. I feel like I can't see you guys. So let's hear about your successes from last week. Any questions that you have, any concerns? Let me know if you've connected with your coaches yet this week. It's an exciting thing. So let's dig in here. Let's talk about what's coming this week. So Liliana, I think you mean level 3, not level 4. So yes, we are in level 3, week 2, and this is protein hyperdosing week. So this week you are actually going to be making sure that you're having protein at each one of your meals. You're going to be backing down on your fat intake and and your carbohydrate. And they're going to be protein based too. So things like hard-boiled eggs. You can do, let's see, protein. You can do almonds this week, but you want to watch those carbs. So no almond butter. Things like that. So you're going to do your protein-heavy snacks this week, as well as having protein at each meal. So make sure that you are checking on the program for that. Now let's talk about your fitness for this week, what you should be doing for fitness this week. You may find yourself a little bit fatigued because you're going to be low on the carbohydrates this week. So you want to be taking a look at that. Your fitness should be short. It should be 30 to 60 minutes. You do not want to be going over that. This is not the week for those long-term workouts. So you want to keep your workouts short. You may have some fatigue. You may have some difficulty getting through this week. And this is going to be definitely a mindset week for you because you're going to have to really kind of knuckle down and just get through this week. And we have that, we quite frequently have that, where people go say, I just have no energy this week. So remember, hey Wendy, hey Cindy. So remember that this week can be a tough week, but that doesn't mean that you can't get through this. And this is where the mindset piece really, really comes in. So realize that it's 1 week, and you can do this. You can get through this week. So let's have your questions. Let me know your questions for this week. Let me know what's going on with you. And let's answer those questions. I want to hear your results from last week. I see everyone saying hi, but let's hear your results and let's have some questions going on here. So let's see what kind of questions we have dropped in here. Okay. Now, for those of you who, let me know how you did last week on carbohydrate week. Did you struggle? Was it tough? Was it easy? What kind of results did you have from last week? You guys are so quiet tonight. Let's hear about your results from last week. And let's hear what's going on with you. So I want to know results from last week, questions for this coming week. Liliana, I'm curious to know why you stayed away from following the plan last week. I'd love to know more about that. Let's try and address that for you. Let's see what we can do regarding that for you. So, you know, what kind of challenges are you coming across that you're staying away from the plan from last week? So we've got some new people on here. If you're new this week, let's see. We've got Tina. Tina's just getting started. Tina, I'd love to know how you're doing so far and what's going on with you. And for those coaches that are watching, how did your carbohydrate week go when you did it, and how was your protein week? I'd love to hear more about that. Elena says, why do some people respond well to eating fat and others to protein instead of when it comes to losing inches? Great question. Well, everybody's body is different. We all process food differently. And part of the reason why we do this level 3 is this really gives you a good indication of how your body processes food. So you're going to get a great indication by the time level 3 is finished. You're going to have a great indication on what's best for you. So maybe all this time you've been thinking, oh, I'm not a carbohydrate person. I can't do carbs. It's not my thing. And you can come into level 3 and you can actually sail through carbohydrate week, and you may struggle in the other levels where you thought that maybe you fit. So maybe you always thought that you were a protein person. And you actually did better on carbohydrate week. So it's really going to give you a good indication on how you should move forward. For me personally, when I did this level, and I sort of suspected, but I am not a carbohydrate person, couldn't do it. I had a lot of side effects from doing carbohydrate week. I had a lot of bloating. I did not feel very well. I was very fatigued that week, and I sailed through protein week. So I do very well with protein. That's just my body type. Everybody is different. So it's really getting to know your body type, how you process food, and what's best for you, okay? Liliana says she's scared of the carbs since you weren't going to be exercising much. And yeah, and you get bloating. And you know what? It's going to be with the carbs, really, don't be afraid of carbs, because you do want to find out what carbs that you do well with. So you do need to experiment a little bit. There's going to be certain ones that you're probably going to be okay with. Because remember, when you are working out, when you're not in level 3 and you're in regular juice cycling, those post-workout meals, so whether it's a smoothie, whether it's a meal, those are the times that you're going to want to be including those carbohydrates to replace your glycogen stores. So that's the time that you're going to want to be doing that. So you need to find out what carbohydrates are going to work best with your body. Some of the simple ones and a couple of the ones that I find that work well with me, I can do steel cut oats. I can do a third of a sweet potato. I can do banana. I am not really crazy about banana. So, and berries I do okay with. So those are pretty much the carbohydrates that I stick to. I can do a little bit of brown rice from time to time, but I can't do that real often. And yes, it makes me bloat. So I do try and avoid the carbohydrates. So, yeah, Liliana, what ones have you found that you can do? I'd love to know what you have found that you can do. What things have you tried out? So let me know what you've tried out with that. And it's really, this is one of the key pieces to this program. We really want you to start listening to your body. And that can be difficult, especially when you've been away from carbohydrates for the last 2 months and you're coming back to them, and you kind of get a little bit of it's a fear of those carbohydrates. And we don't want you to fear carbohydrates. We want you to respect them and know exactly how they fit in and what you can do to make them fit in. So yeah, brown rice, Banana, sweet potatoes, good. And those are great ones to stick to, Liliana. Absolutely. Those are great carbohydrates for you to stick with. They'll serve your purpose. They will do you get side effects from them, or are you okay with those? Let me know on that. So same thing going into protein week. Now you may find as you get into protein week that you're going to be excessively tired, that you're just going to not have any energy. And so the important things this week still, and we talked about this last week, you've got to make sure that you're getting your water in. This is really a mindset week, so you've got to really focus in on you. If you're feeling tired, get up, move around, move your body, do those things that you need to do. Change your environment. Yes, you do actually juice fast this week. You do just juice fast this week. You're going to be staying away from the alpha reset juices. So you're going to want to be doing the beta breakthrough juices this week. But you are going to be adding protein in with those juices. So you have options to add in your protein. You can mix protein powder in with your juices. You can add it into water and drink it alongside your juice. You can definitely add that in. So protein is definitely allowed with your juices, but you want to stick to more of the beta breakthrough juices this week. And for anybody who's new, we have 2 classifications for juices. We've got our alpha reset, and those are juices that contain sugar, things like apples, beets, carrots. And then we have our beta breakthrough juices, which are the very green juices. So the only, and I don't even consider them sugary fruits. The only fruit that is allowed is citrus. So things like lemon, lime are allowed when you're doing beta breakthrough juice. No oranges, no grapefruits. And you're sticking to more of the green veggies. So beets are out, carrots are out with your beta breakthrough juices. Because you really want to explore the low sugar option with those juices. So yes, you are going to be juice fasting, and you want to stick to the green juices this week. Okay. Other questions, folks? What about fitness? Any questions about fitness for this week? Or any questions in general? How are you guys doing? How's the program going? How are you feeling? You guys are also quiet. Liliana, I feel like I'm having a private conversation with Liliana. Let's see. Who else is watching here? Let's hear from you guys. Jeffrey, I'd love to hear how you're doing. How's it going? Penny, how's it going? Oh, I hear Penny.
Hello.
Hello. There you are. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. How are you? Good. So tell us about when you did Protein Week. What were your struggles?
Ooh, I had no struggles in Protein Week. I loved it.
Yeah.
It was my best. I do need more protein. I knew that in advance because I'd learned to listen to my body.
Mm-hmm.
So I anticipated that being a good week, and it was. Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. Elena says, when it comes to relearning portion sizes, since most of us are used to big sizes, what are ways we can make them smaller and yet still be full? Good question. This is a great question no matter where you're at in this program, because I think we really struggle with, in our society, everything is supersized, everything's big, portions are so much bigger. Even when you go out to eat, it's, you're served on these large plates with big portions. So it's really learning to, focus in and know what normal portions look like and what you should be looking at. And this is where I love, we had this guide created, maybe about a year ago. I think it was about a year ago. So when you're looking at a typical Fit Life meal, and it doesn't matter whether going off our menu or whether you're creating your own meal, Really, your meal should look like veggies. It should be 2 hands of veggies. So with your fingers spread apart, 2 hands of veggies. Your protein serving should be the size of your palm. That's about 4 ounces. So your protein serving should be about the size of your palm. And your fat serving should be from the tip of your thumb to where your thumb meets your palm. This is a fat serving. So when you look at the size of that, that's not a lot of fat. So, evaluate that, and are you getting enough fat, or are you getting too much in your fat servings? So that's a typical Fit Life meal. That's what you should be doing. So no matter whether you're prepping your own food, whether you're eating out at a restaurant, if you get this heaping plate that comes to you at a restaurant, I'd ask for a to-go container right away, cut it in half, and, know that that's your meal, and you're taking the second half of that home for your next meal. And also one of my favorite tricks now that I do, actually 2 things. I've gone to smaller plates for eating my meals. Instead of the big dinner plates, I go to smaller plates. But I also got some really pretty bowls because you eat first with your eyes. So when it's appealing, and I make sure that my meals look nice, you tend to enjoy it more than just eating very fast. And we live in a society where everything has gotten so fast, we don't chew enough. Whereas it used to maybe take you 15, 20 minutes to eat, most people are finishing a meal in 5 minutes. That's not enough time to chew your food and digest your food. So you need to think about those things when you sit down. When you take a bite, put your fork down in between. Mindful eating, make sure you're chewing. It's interesting because I just was reading a piece on digestion. And really, they said you need to chew each bite of your food 31 times. So it gets to a liquid state in your mouth before you even swallow, in order to have proper digestion. That's an important thing. And we talk about mindful eating. You hear us talk about mindful eating throughout the program. Taking that time. So taking the distractions away. Are you eating in front of the television? Are you surfing your phone while you're eating? What are you doing? Take those distractions away. Sit down, enjoy your food. And I will admit, because I live singly, there's been times I eat at the kitchen sink. I'm terrible. I can be terrible that way. I now intentionally make time to go sit down and eat my dinner and enjoy it. Penny, what do you do? What's your favorite trick in that?
I use my grandmother's china.
Do you?
It's beautiful. You can't replace it. It has gold on it. And I sit down with a bowl or a small plate and put a big old chicken wrap on it.
I love it. I love that. I also eat off my china. I love it. And I'll tell you the thing that I love about my china, and I'm trying to do this, and I learned this from May and her fiance, Steven. They do not microwave. They don't own a microwave. So they have no microwave. And now I cannot put my china in the microwave. So microwaving is not an option for me. So I'm either eating my meal cold or I'm cooking it right then and there. And that really starts to reframe the way you think about what you're putting in your body. Really does. So you want to make sure that you're, be good to yourself. Remember, this is your fuel. This is how you're fueling your body. So slow down, take your time, enjoy that dinner. Do you ever light a candle? Do you ever, any of that? I do too.
Yeah.
I do too. Now that the weather's nice, I go sit out on my patio and I eat dinner, and I just enjoy being outside. Take advantage of that. Don't always make it such a rushed thing, because if you don't take that time to enjoy that and you're just continuously eating and putting it in, chances are you're going to overeat. You're going to overeat. You're going to say, oh, I can just have a little bit more. Oh, I can just have a little bit more. Are you drinking your water? Are you getting your water in? One of my favorite things to do with meals, I love sparkling water. I love mineral water. So I will do mineral water with limes and lemon slices in it. Number one, you're getting the benefit of the mineral water. You're getting the minerals. And it's something special. It's definitely something special. Penny, how about you? What do you do in terms of, Do you do tea with your meals? Do you do water?
It depends. I do water because I don't drink enough water typically, and so I try to supplement my water intake at a meal.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I'll do iced tea, but typically I've gotten drinking water with my meal.
I love that. One of my coaching clients, she cued me into drinking Organifi with green tea, so the base of green tea. So now that it's summer, I have started doing, remember sun tea? Remember making sun tea? I have been making green tea as sun tea.
Oh, wow.
And then putting in the fridge and adding a scoop of Organifi. It is amazing. It is absolutely amazing. So you're getting all the natural goodness because it's brewing on its own in the jar. You're getting the green tea, which is full of antioxidants, and you're adding the Organifi. So it's delicious. So I encourage any of you that are watching, you know what, try, and Suzanne, I'm giving you credit for this because you were the one that told me about this idea. Try some green tea with your Organifi. It's amazing. Cindy says she likes to put her fork down between bites. Yeah, so important. Take that time, set your fork down, you know. Definitely do that. Do not eat in the car. Do not eat while you're trying to drive or while you're trying to do other things. Take that time for yourself and take that time away and enjoy it. Just do it and enjoy it. So other questions about this week. Penny, what did you do for fitness in your protein week?
My fitness was limited at that time. I think I was using my poles to walk. I was doing a combination of walk in place at home, and I was starting to walk with my cross-country poles. They're made for walking. And I was just about that time I was getting out, trying that.
I love that. I love it. And you can choose, you can absolutely choose whatever you want to do this week. But you want to keep your workout short because of the fact that you're not going to be having those extra carbohydrates in there. You're also going to be cutting back on the fat servings. So you want to keep your workout short. So keep it simple. So this is not the week for CrossFit. This is not the week for those long 90-minute workouts. You want to keep your workout short. So high intensity interval training is great this week. You can get that in quick, short. Walking, always a good one, easy. Oh, thanks, Tina. We'll try and correct that. So you always want to make sure that it's something you enjoy doing, because if you don't enjoy doing it, chances are you're not going to do it. So figure out what you like to do. Walking is great. And realize that next week is the fun week. Next week you're going to get to take care of yourself. So it's going to be relaxation. So think about that now, just going into next week is restorative. So next week is the week to schedule your massage, your acupuncture, your acupressure. Maybe you want to get a pedicure, things like that. That's perfect for next week. So if you want to think about scheduling that now for next week, do it now. Do it now so you know you've got it coming. And that's a little bit more incentive to get through this week. Joni says, I have been putting lemon and cucumber. I assume you're juicing that, Joni? Are you juicing? I'm guessing. Give me a little bit more. There we go. I've been putting lemon, cucumber, cayenne, ginger, and mint leaves in a gallon of water before bed and drinking this mixture throughout the next day. That does sound amazing. Yeah, and you can definitely still do infused waters. At any point in this program, you can always do infused waters. They count as water, and there's so many options. Go on Pinterest. There are tons of water infused ideas on there. Fruit, different vegetables, different herbs. I know there's even, you can do essential oils in water, but make sure that you do your research on that. I don't want to quote you on that because I am not very familiar with that. So make sure that you are checking on that to make sure that you can ingest those. But I know that some people do take the essential oils, especially the lemon. Penny, are you an essential oil person?
I'm not.
I have used them
for like sinus infections. I've used them for pain relief. When I had a slip disc in my back, I used some different oils for that, some tea tree oil. I use that a lot, probably more than anything. I've never ingested it, I'll have to say. I've never put it in water, any of them, because I don't really know that much about it. It's something I'd like to know more about, because I know the ones that I have used have worked fantastically. So it's on my to-do list is to find out more about them.
There we go. Sorry. Muting so we don't get an echo. Yeah, it's definitely something that you want to do your homework on and research on. That's why I say make sure that you're educated on doing essential oils to make sure that they are the proper quality grade and that they're okay to ingest as well for that. Joni says, ingesting for long periods of time is not a good idea. They're very powerful. Exactly. That's why I like to say that do your research. Make sure that you know what you're putting in your body. Elaine is talking about metabolic prime. And Diane's talking about metabolic aftershock. For anybody who's confused on that, these are high-intensity interval training workouts. We have worked with that company, and they have done special offers through FitLife. Any high-intensity training, and you know, it can be a program that you've purchased. There are tons of HIIT training videos on YouTube. So there's so much out there. It's really easy to do. And high intensity interval training is meant for you to do. You do short periods where you go, you know, till exhaustion, and then you take a break, and then you do it again. And it's various different exercises. And they have HIIT workouts for all different levels. So even if you're just getting started with getting more fit, there are high intensity interval workouts for you, as well as for those people, you know, who are more fit. You know, for me personally, I struggle with things like burpees and that because of a knee injury. So it's really difficult for me to do those. So I look for programs that modify those things. And you can absolutely find programs that will modify all those. Most of the programs out there, even the free ones on the internet, will modify that for you. So make sure that you're, you know, looking at it. If you're not sure how to modify, ask us. We're happy to help you. We're absolutely happy to help you with that. So don't, you know, that's why you have a coach. Reach out to your coach. So we have 1 minute left here. I want to remind you that a couple things. First of all, check in with your coaches. It is Monday. You should be turning in your results today. If you have not turned in your results today, make sure you get those into your coach. Connect with your coach. And we have 2 more weeks left in the program. So we're going to talk next week about your continuation options. So start to think about what is next for you. Are you looking for more accountability? Are you looking to continue? We're going to talk about that next week and give you your options on that. So with that, I'm going to wrap up for today. I hope you guys enjoy Protein Week this week, and let us know if you have questions. Otherwise, we will be back next Monday, and looking forward to it. So have a great week, everybody. Thank you for joining me, Penny. See everybody next week. Bye-bye.